Hello students, I'm going to show you how to work order of operations, how to evaluate this expression. If there are exponents or nesting going on in the expression. Nesting means that you have parentheses within parentheses. An exponent, of course, is how many times you multiply something times itself, or more, okay? So negative 5 squared would be negative 5 times negative 5. Okay, so when we work with order of operations, we follow the rule of PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses and exponents we work on first. Then we go back to the beginning, do our multiplying and dividing. Dividing comes before multiplying, I divide first, then multiply. Then back to the beginning, and I finish it out by adding and subtracting, whichever comes first. If subtracting comes before addition, I subtract first. If adding comes before subtraction, I add first. Okay? So let's start with work on the inside out, okay? Since parentheses comes first, I'll work the parentheses within the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to do this one step at a time so it don't get mixed up. Negative 5 squared minus 4 times, I'm just going to put a bracket instead of a parentheses. It means the same thing. 6 divided by, okay, I'm going to do this step right here. Negative 7 plus 8. If I am adding unlike signs, I find the difference of the two numbers and keep the sign of the larger number. So negative 7 plus 8 is going to give me 1. And you can also do that on your calculator. And let me show you that, because when you take your TABE, you will have a calculator. Okay, so here's the calculator. Here is your negative right there. So I'll put negative 7 plus 8 and enter. And I get my answer right there as a positive 1. If you think about that on a number line, if you're on your number line and you're way down here at negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, 4, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. As the numbers go to the right, they get larger. As they go to the left, they get smaller. Okay, so here we are at negative 7, and we're adding 8 to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where does that put me? Right there at 1. Okay, so here I have 6 divided by 1 times 3. Okay, back to the beginning. All right, I still have this going on in parentheses, don't I? So that's got to be my next step right there. Bring down negative 5 squared minus 4 times 6 divided by 1 is 6 times 3. Okay, back to the beginning. Okay, my next step is going to be my exponent. Okay, so here it's to the second power. Negative 5 to the second power. So negative 5 to the second power means negative 5 times negative 5. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. Two wrongs make a right when I multiply or divide, okay? Those are two wrongs. They make a right only when I multiply or divide. 5 times 5 is 25. So, we'll come right here and put 25 minus 4 times 6 times 3. Back to the beginning. All right. According to my order of operations, I have to multiply and divide next. So looking from left to right, oh, I've got those. That's my next thing in the row, multiplying. So 25 minus 4 times 6, 24 times 3. Okay, back to the beginning. Still multiplying. Got these little buddies. 25, 24 times 3. What's that going to give me? 72. Negative times a positive is a negative 72. Okay. And 25 minus 72. Well, if I'm up here at 25 on my number line and I take 72 away, it's going to put me way down in the negative zone. So my answer is going to give me a negative. And 72, the difference in 72 and 25 is 47. So my final answer, negative 47 for this expression. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, once again we have nesting, parentheses within parentheses, and I have an exponent. Okay, so let's work from the inside out. So I'll do this step right here first. So bring down 2 squared times 6 minus 9. Okay, once again, if I'm at 6 on my number line and I take 9 away, it's going to throw me into the negative zone, isn't it? The difference in 6 and 9 is going to put me way down here at negative 3, isn't it? And we can do that on our calculator. So let's do that real quick. We have 6, and I can just use the minus right here. 6 minus 9, and enter. And there's my negative 3. So I know that I have worked that correctly. So 2 squared minus negative 3, close parentheses, divided by 3 plus negative 4 squared. Okay, still working within my parentheses. Okay, all right. Now, I have 2 squared right there. In order to work within parentheses, I'm going to have to go ahead and do that, right? So 2 squared is the same thing as 2 times itself. Okay? If I had 2 to the third power, that would be 2 times 2 times 2. But we don't have that. We have 2 squared. So that 2 times 2, that's going to give me 4 times negative 3 divided by 3 plus negative 4 squared. All right, 4 times negative 3. Well, positive times a negative gives us a negative. And 4 times 3 is 12. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Divided by 3 plus negative 4 squared. Okay, let's get this out of the way now. Exponent next. We've done all our parentheses. Negative 12 divided by 3, negative 4 squared is the same thing as negative 4 times negative 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. Two wrongs make a right only when you multiply or divide. So that's going to give me a positive 16 right here. Okay, back to the beginning. Okay, now I have to multiply or divide, whichever comes first, and we have dividing. Negative divided by positive is a negative. If you have one of each, it's always a negative. 12 divided by 3 is a 4 plus 16. Okay, negative 4 plus 16. If I add unlike signs, I find the difference in the two numbers, keep the sign of the larger number. So the difference in 4 and 16 is 12, and my larger number is positive. So my answer is a positive 12. And we can also put this in our calculator. Negative 4 plus 16, enter. There's our 12. Okay. Practice with those, and I'm going to put some up on in the forums for you all to practice. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will see you next time.